Alright, Shalom. Call law Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are well told me this truth. And peace and blessing be to the whole elect. On the brother Yashar Gabar back to you again for another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying, alright? And, just watching what's been going on, alright, dealing with the LA rioting. I believe it's going on in Chicago too, so it's been spreading. Which we believe, all right, a lot of these things, it's not happening organically, man, The same as during the C-19, what you had agent provocateurs, all right, running around, breaking windows, causing havoc, and just amping everyone else up, all right, to be in the spirit of sedition, all right? And matter of fact, you go into this word, agent provocateurs, all right, just for edification's sake. All right, it says a person who induces others to be violent or commit an illegal act in order to incriminate them or discredit a cause. All right, and that's what you have, man. It's a lot of videos going out, all right, saying, how the LA rioting, started, was peaceful, supposed to be peaceful, protests and things of that sort. You even had pictures of applications, all right, to get paid, all right, to go out there to riot, all right, and hey, that's agent provocateurs for you, man. So I ran across this video. A guy, look Hispanic, all right, but he's going in, all right, speaking on a few things. So I'm gonna play the video and let you brothers listen.
Someone is purposely backing this up financially, because it ain't just one pallet, it's several pallets full of cinder blocks.
All right. Now, all right, these same things was going on during the C-19, man. All right, pallets of bricks, and like you said, it could be someone could be financing this shit, man. All right, to keep that sedition among people, man. All right. So, and the scriptures speak on this. So let's get this. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, start verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, with swords in their hand." Verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their own power." All right? Now let's go into this word sedition for edification's sake. Quick Google search. And it says, sedition is a crime that involves inciting resistance or rebellion against the government in power. It's often associated with speech or actions that promotes disaffection or hatred towards the government. All right. Now, hey, and this is what you see, man. out there. Even if it is Asian provocateurs. All right, it's amping everyone else up to to have that sedition. All right, to be ready to rebel. All right, come against the government. All right, and if it's set up, all right, we know that this devil, he just want to get control of the people. What I believe is called control out of chaos. All right, so he calls chaos, to get control of people. And out there in LA, I believe they just said they just started a curfew out there, where people have to be in the house at a certain time. All right, so, and that's this devil want to come down. All right, lock it down. All right, and we know this devil. He wants to bring in his new world order. All right, to get everyone to comply. And whoever doesn't want to comply, you just part, of everyone else. All right, outcast. They're gonna label you a terrorist. All this other shit, man. All right, even dealing with AI, you seen this shit going. How the AI is. It's easily for them to accuse you of something, all right, that you haven't even did, or accuse you of saying something that you haven't said, all right, and it's all part of this devil, he want to remove the prophets off the streets, he want to stop the word from going out, and what other way to do it, all right, to claim, that you coming against, all right, his system, all right, the same thing what they did with John, all right, yeah, what he said, what he was accused of sedition, man, all right, so let's get this, Isaiah chapter 29, I'm still at the plantation, so bear with me, I'm trying to make this quick. Isaiah chapter 29 verse 21, it says they make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for things of naught. Yeah, so they lay snares, man. All right, they lay snares, all right, for him that reproveth in the gate. All right, which is what the just are, the prophets, man. They try to lay snares, create laws, do all these things, all right, to keep the just, that's reproving, all right, keep the prophets from going out teaching, all right, keep the word from going out, and can also falsely accuse, brothers, all right, because that's what it's going to come down to, man. All right, this devil, he want to get brothers off the scene, stop the word from going out, all right, and label brothers as terrorists and hate groups and all this shit. You see it now, all right, so they lay snares, all right, and this devil, he want to change things up, all right. He want to get everyone that's not complying with his system, all right, which is ultimately going to be what the MOTB, all right, bringing in that C-hip, which is the C-hip, and if you don't want to comply with that, all right, you just label an outcast, keep you from buying, selling, going into stores, going to the next city, the next state over, or whatever. All right. So let's see. Let's get this. 2nd Esdras chapter 16, start at verse 70. It says, "For there should be in every place in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." All right, a great insurrection. Now this insurrection, let's go into this. Pretty much the same thing. An insurrection, it says, is a violent uprising or a rebellion against the government or authority. Often involves armed conflict and a deliberate attempt to overthrow an existing power structure. So it says, what is going to be an insurrection? All right, upon those, let's go back to it. It says, upon those that fear the Lord. Yeah, so it's going to be an insurrection, man. Why is that? All right, for not complying, all right, with the ways of this world, with his system. All right, when he brings in the MOTB, all right, want to chip everyone. All right, those that fear the Lord isn't going to take and receive, all right, that chip. All right, because if you do, all right, you will be destroyed, man. you know. And it says, verse 71, it says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling, destroying those that fear the Lord. Yeah, so hey, it's going to come to a point, hey, this devil, all right, he's going to be like a madman, all right? This devil, he's going to show his horns, all right? All right, and this northern tribe, you know, hey, they feeling it, all right? They seeing who the devil is, man, you know? Hawking the Hispanics down, you know, dealing with ICE and all this bullshit. All right, but they seeing who's the devil. All right, man, he's not sparing. You know, he's not sparing. All right, you know, your grandmother, you know, your grandpa, whatever. All right, but it's gonna come to a point. All right, what it says, still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. All right, so even those that fear the Lord. All right, you know, hey, this devil, he's gonna want to try to throw brothers in jails. You know, try to, you know, put brothers to death, whatever, man. All right, you know, but it says what, those that fear the Lord. All right, because hey, through the Spirit, all right, Lord willing, you know, we be those men. All right, hey, we fear the Lord. All right, we fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, and the Lord is going to give what, brothers, those spiritual powers. You know. All right, it says what the Scripture says, what the dead shall rise first. You know, enjoying heirs with the Lord, Yahweh Shai, man. All right, that's what we patiently waiting on, man. All right, for the Lord to make his return. You know, so, and when this devil, all right, thinks he's going to fill his belly, all right, the Lord got something for him, man. You know, because all these things, all right, it's not going to fully, all right, this devil's not going to fully be able to, what, bring in, all right, his new world order as he wants. You know, because he really wants to get rid of everyone, you know, who's not, you know, chipped for real, man. All right, who's not complying, all right, with his system. All right, this devil, he'll do anything. All right, order out of chaos. All right, cause havoc, like everything just going up. All right, to come down. All right, on the people. All right, and really on those that fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right. All right, because hey, this is what he's scared of. This is what this devil's scared of, man. You know, this is what his big concern about. All right, the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right, being brought forth. You know, getting pushed out. You know, the elect waking up. All right. So, matter of fact, let's end it off with this. Revelation chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, for you should be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life." All right? So it says, fear none of those things, man, that you should suffer. All right? This devil, he want to throw you in jails. All right? You know, he even want to try to put those that fear the Lord to death. All right? But it says, what? Be faithful into death. All right, whether you're facing death, facing persecution, all right, be faithful, man. All right, the Lord is going to give you the crown of life. You know, and the Lord is going to be with you. All right, you know. So let me see, was that it? All right, kind of. So I'm ending off with that. So Lord willing, this video will be edifying, giving all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Makakodash. We give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, say shalom.